Hello, I'm Chris Osman, and this is my take. Today I'd like to talk about higher education and how limiting access to higher education to those who can afford it is not necessarily a good thing for your community. Whether that community be your neighborhood, your city, your state, or even your entire nation, limiting higher education to those who can afford it does not necessarily move your society or your community forward. Let's consider this. Say you have 100 people in your village or town or whatever, but you have 100 people. Now, of that 100 people, only one out of the 100 people is allowed to go to college. Or say that person has a child and that one out of 100 family units allows their child or has access to higher education or has access for their child to higher education due to funds required to get that higher education. Now, think about this. Say you have someone who is an entrepreneur and they're innovative and they create something that makes a lot of money. And then, because of their access to that capital, their children are then allowed to go get that higher education. Now, the child of this person may be a genius, but they may also not be a genius. Maybe one of the other 99 people in your village or city or town has someone who in their family who is a genius, but all those other people are poor or are not poor but don't have access to the higher education that the rich person in the town has. Now, a lot of people might say, oh yeah, but the rich are smarter than us or they're more deserving or more ambitious. While this may be true, it doesn't feel that way anymore. It feels like a lot of times the rich are just more greedy than the rest of us. You know, you look at some of the people out here who have a lot of money and they don't seem to be very good stewards of their communities, of their environments, of anything that actually makes life worth living. They're actually making things worse for more people. And not just people, but all the inhabitants of planet Earth. So let's take that one individual who is this entrepreneur that comes up with some idea that makes him a lot of money. And then he has an offspring, and his offspring is given access to higher education. Now, is it better for the community that that 1% person and their offspring have access to higher education than it would be for the other 99 people to also have access to higher education? I think if you consider the probability of your community being a success, I think to have 100% of your population being able to access higher education and information is gives you a much better chance to actually succeed and excel and evolve into the type of society that is beneficial to all of its members. Now, let's think about this. For those who think that that 1% person is deserving and their child is more deserving of that higher education because their parent is a smart person, let's think about the person who basically came up with pet rocks. Does that person's child necessarily deserve to get that access to that higher education than other people? So no, I will not agree to any idea that says rich people are more deserving or smarter than everybody else. As far as information itself, the importance of it could not be overstated. If you look at things on a universal scale, let's say, think about man's reach exceeding his grasp. For, we have determined that the universe is about 13 plus billion years old, but we have yet to send any kind of probe that has gone to those extents to prove physically what the extents of the universe are. It's like starlight. When you see a star in the sky, we have determined that those stars, that light coming from those stars is millions of years old. In some cases, I imagine billions of years. They've also determined that some of those stars no longer even exist. And we're still seeing the light because all the light that came from those stars is still traveling to us. Just like the way the sun, if the sun goes out, I think it's 11 minutes before we would even know that the sun was no longer putting light out, because that's how long it takes for light to travel from the sun to Earth. So, in that regard, man's reach has definitely exceeded his grasp. And this is the way I look at information. Consider all the companies that are big nowadays. They rely on all the information that they can gather in regards to you and any of the other customers or consumers around the planet. Look at Amazon, Facebook, X, TikTok. They all rely on analytics that are based on the information that they've gathered about each and every one of their users. And then you look at other stores like Walmart, Target, look at airlines. They all need the data that is provided when they get the information from, about their individual customers. So information is key. And one way that the information can be used is to either limit it to a very small portion of society. In America, education, higher education, is becoming something that is limited to people who can afford an education. Now, this may seem like, some kind of capitalistic requirement, but does it truly make sense to have such limitations in a sustainable society or community? Think about it like this. If you have 1% to 10% of a community that has access to this higher education, you are missing out on 99 or 90 to 99% of that community's brain power. So there's this definite brain drain if you're limiting access to higher education to those who can't afford said higher education. In the end, it doesn't make sense to do so. So why would we have a system that's set up in that manner? Please join me tomorrow, where I will be discussing how this has an impact on our economy. And I will be providing my idea of the type of economy that I would like to see in the future. Thank you.
As with the book entitled Solutions, enough complaining, let's fix America. Questions will be asked here to help the masses separate facts from the lies and misinformation our leaders tell us every day. For more tools to help you help your friends and family, get the book mentioned above at Amazon.com today.